What's up, y'all? I'm Jade Green from the Black Creatures. I'm wearing makeup and I really wish I wasn't. And it's time for another Thirsty Thursday. Thirsty Thursday is a weekly program where Xavier and I talk to you about music, movies, cultural trends, and more things. Like most other days, I'm thirsty for the truth. So what, are you into direct action, organizing strikes, demonstrations, marches, occupations, or something like that? Or do you just like posting heavily political memes? First of all, don't answer that. Second of all, if you thought yes to any of those questions, this video is for you. And stop organizing on social media. Stop doing it. Stop. I mean, entry level, sure, but like, let's be real. The information in this video all came from a Medium article written by Elise Slop, aka Make God Gay Again. So why do people love social media? I can think of a few reasons. You've got this abundant sense of community, instant gratification. People can get together who share otherwise obscure thoughts and ideas. It inspires people. It encourages people. It gives you that instant dopamine fix. The internet is educational. Yeah, all this good globalism and community building, it works. It's great. It's awesome. But what happens when your whole account just gets, say, deleted without warning? But Jade, nothing gets deleted on the internet. That's a real common phrase people like to use, but it's not that simple. Say you've experienced some mortal embarrassment and you want to shut your whole online presence down. Well, Facebook and Instagram and anywhere else where you signed terms and conditions without reading the fine print actually got you to sign off on releasing your personal information to companies or law enforcement. Yeah, you can become ungoogleable to the general public, but certain parties have the privilege of always being able to look through your stuff even after deactivation, even after deletion. You may not be able to access that post that you accidentally deleted the draft of, but metadata's forever. Now, you don't want to delete your social, right? Nah, you want to keep track of important conversations and memes and so on, but hopefully none of it's too political. Is disruptively political. When I say disruptively, I mean in a way, shape, or form that affects the status quo, that does not honor patriotism, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So Make God Gay Again was an Instagram handle with a pretty large following that primarily just posted memes and information or agitprop as the uprising began during the summer of 2020. In response to the most recent slew of Black Death caught on footage at the hands of a member of law enforcement, the feds decided it was time to crack down on the people protesting crooked cops before actually cracking down on crooked cops. That's bad parenting. Make God Gay Again was kind enough to round up some of the legal changes that were made that are directly related to the way we interact on social media. For example, on May 28th, 2020, Donald Duck signed an executive order that basically said social media was no longer off limits from the liability clauses outlined in previous legislation. Then on June 2nd, 2020, BuzzFeed News published an article about DEA, or the Drug Enforcement Administration, and how they had been granted federal permission to conduct covert surveillance on anyone participating in protests over the killing of George Floyd. Attorney General Barr said that because of anarchist and far-left extremists using Antifa-like tactics, the FBI, DEA, U.S. Marshals, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives would be deployed to support local efforts to enforce federal law. And I'd like to remind you that Antifa, like anarchism, is not an organization, it is a belief. It is a shorthand way to say anti-fascist, or against people like Hitler. Why is this controversial? On August 19th, 2020, Facebook, and therefore Instagram, their policies, particularly how they address movements and organizations tied to violence. And since we know Black people defending themselves and their lives are considered violent, you know the rest. While we will allow people to post content that supports these movements and groups, so long as they do not otherwise violate our content policies, we will restrict their ability to organize on our platform, limiting the spread of content from Facebook pages, groups, and Instagram accounts, removing pages, groups, and Instagram accounts where we identify discussions of potential violence, including when they use veiled language and symbols particular to the movement to do so. Additionally, the FBI.gov has a whole webpage describing how Twitter can and will share any political photos you take with law enforcement. Not to mention the algorithm. The media blackouts occurring during times of high civil unrest. Even if you're sharing important, even life-saving information, if you share it with the wrong hashtag or from the wrong account or using the wrong picture, you may be shadow banned or otherwise covertly hidden from other users on the site. Because patriotism. So pretty much any of us advocating for the end of the U.S. empire, including indigenous folks advocating for decolonization, can theoretically be locked up for assisting insurrection, even if you're just making memes. Unsurprising then that the DOJ or Department of Justice would declare Portland, Seattle, and New York City to be anarchist jurisdictions on September 21st, given that they were hotspots for autonomous movements all summer. Titling them anarchist jurisdictions in the first place essentially permits federal powers to do as they see fit to restore law and order. Remember when y'all were talking about martial law and Shakira law and Shania law and Sharia law and subhuman and coleslaw? Yeah, that's this. Dangerous wording is being blanketed over large groups of people, and that don't sit right with me. But the federal powers that be do not care about whether or not something sits right with us. Us. Executive powers do, however, care about what you're posting, who you're sharing it with, and which accounts and hashtags you follow. So, if you're watching this video and thinking, am I making myself like a really big target for covert surveillance measures because I post politically online right now? Then this video is for you. Stop organizing on social media. Y'all know that feeding the homeless is illegal, right? You know that that's like a thing legally that we're not supposed to be doing? Okay. I'm just making. Y'all know slavery was legal? Y'all know incarceration is legal? Okay. I don't know what else to say. I hope you have yourself a great evening though. And don't give up. We gonna get through this. Bye.
Everything would be all right if everything was put back in the hands of the people. And we're going to have to put it back in the hands of the people.